welcome everybody. Hey, where's everybody from? Type in your country because we have some new people today. I can tell from the names. That way everybody can kind of get an idea about where we're from here. Canada, that's right, Giles. Let's see. Yeah. Yes, well, hopefully we'll hear from Kaylee soon. All right, got Czech Republic, we got Quebec City, Rome. All right, I'm in Portland, Oregon, or kind of in that part of the country. Charlotte, North Carolina. Bob Honey, are you going to be at the Eco Conference coming up? That's next week. Yeah, or not next week. I hope it's not next week. Yeah, and next month. Fantastic. All right, there we go. Oh, Mons, you're in. Awesome. Mons, you got my email, right? Yes. Okay. Did you reply yet? Let's do a real quick check. No, not yet. All right. I'm really anxious to see where we go with all that stuff. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being here today. Man, this is really one of the highlights of, I think the membership program is doing these webinars. At least it is for me. I always learn stuff, right? And so the focus today is I've never done a webinar like this before. And sometimes I just assume that, people know all this, not all the statistics, but a bunch of the instant statistics or these system statistics. But we don't all know all that. And so I thought, I should do a webinar on this. And then I was going to take it a step further, and we're going to do some R, but the focus is not in R, but I'm going to reuse some scripts, some R scripts that I used in the previous webinar. So we're kind of building on that, or more appropriately, not build, we're going to modify the scripts. So it's pretty cool. Anyways, so how to use and know if your system is read or write centric. So that's the title today. And a couple quick announcements. If you're a new OraPub member, or you're not new but you'd like to attend, I'm starting to do these onboarding webinars. It's similar to the ones I used to do, but it is different. It is different. I go through like the top 5 things I wish somebody would have told me when I started Oracle, all that kind of stuff. So the agenda's online, all that. It's totally free, but registration is required. Okay, there's going to be a password and all that. So it's online, just like any other event. Okay, so if you're a new OraPub member, go ahead and register for that. I'd love to have you. There's already some people registered for the one that's coming up in a couple weeks, or next week, August 21st. The next one will be then near the end of September. I kind of have a preliminary date with that. The next LVC coming up is the ASH one. I'm right. I just started the AWR LVC yesterday. But the ASH one is coming up, and the first session is October 9th. Okay, so if you're a Prime member, then it's included. If you're not, then there's a fee for that. But there's discounts too, and you can email Katrina and badger her about discounts. All right, so on to today's webinar. So recently, and this is how I get a lot of my webinar ideas, is from a Slack conversation. Okay, so somebody Slack the community asking, and I'm not going to give names, but I think that person might be online here. They said, does anyone know, and this is a direct quote, does anyone know a way to find out if my database is read or write intensive? Okay, now the reason that kind of like perked my interest is that, when I was doing way back when I did a lot of Oracle Business Suite install and upgrades and tunings and all that kind of stuff, is that we always had a script and that told us if the database was more read or write intensive. And we were like always shocked. It's just how much more read activity occurs than write activity. When most people think that Oracle databases has a lot more write activity, getting the data in, to doing the number crunching and all of that. But it turns out that most systems are actually much more read intensive. So how do we figure that out, right? So, and it's a lot more than just, than is it read or write intensive, right? You can use it. You can use this information in some creative ways besides just kind of knowing more about or the characteristics of your key systems that you actually want to watch. So I'm pretty sure the motivation for this one was migration to Exadata, but I wasn't 100% sure. So, but I think that's what it was. But you can use the same kind of information kind of like looking out into the future in terms of, IO activity. You can do some kind of forecasting with that. And what's really interesting is you will always see cycles, and you'll see like cycles, throughout the day. Like there's like an evening cycle and, a daytime cycle. And then there may be, within that cycle, there will be a larger cycle that may be a weekly cycle. And within and beyond the weekly cycle, there can be a monthly cycle. And it's kind of a fractal kind of a thing. It's really cool. So for me, it's really interesting to see that, because, when people complain about performance during certain, times of the day, week, or month, or whatever, it's interesting to see how that relates to the IO cycles. And you can see some correlation there. So anyway, so there's all sorts of ways that you can actually apply this. So what I'm hoping to give you, or what I'm going to give you, we're going to start with just looking at the IO related statistics within Oracle. And then we're going to pull that data out of the AWR tables. Actually, we're going to look at a couple AWR reports after we look at just raw $$ statistics. Okay. And then we're going to take that AWR data and we're going to load that into R, and we're actually going to create some charts. So my hope is that you can just take the scripts and you can take the R stuff and all of that, and you can just modify that and just do whatever you want with that. So I'm kind of like giving you a little, kind of like some tools so you can take this the next step. Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing. So let the typing begin. So